Okay. Um, I wanted to tell you about dirt, and my dirt is there was a point in my life where I had to take 2 showers a day. So let me work my way up to that, and you'll see why I did. I was not a great high school student. I had a brother who was 2 years older than me, and he was the genius. So he got all the straight A's. So I could either compete with him or just take a pass. So I took a pass. My greatest accomplishment in high school was probably learning how to smoke and sending out these beautiful cylindrical smoke rings and blowing smoke out of my nose and my mouth at the same time. So when it came to college, my friends were all taking off, and there wasn't any college that was looking for me. So I went and signed up for a 2-year course in X-ray. And I don't know if any of you have any X-ray memories, but it can be a really messy place. So the second week that I was in school, we were supposed to take classes during the early part of the day, and then they would put us into exam rooms to not help out because we didn't know anything yet. So they sent me into a room where the radiologist was going to be doing barium enemas and told me to just stay towards the back and just stay out of the way. Well, the woman, after she had this enema tip put into her rear, and the radiologist, with glee, started the barium into her body, was really in pain. So she ripped the tube out of her butt, stood up on the table, and just expelled everything. And it was like barium and shit, and it smelled so bad that you could taste it. And they had told me to stay in the back of the room. Well, now I understand why, because students clean up when there's a problem. So everybody took off and left me with this dirty table. I got shit on, vomited, peed on. I mean, the insults to humanity were innumerable. And so that started my habit of 2 showers a day, because I needed to take a shower to get up in the morning, and at home I needed to take a shower to get this stuff off of myself. And I did that for a couple of years, but while I was in radiology school, they introduced us to something called nuclear medicine studies. And it was a new field at the time, and it was so new that there were no college courses yet. You had to work in a hospital under a physicist, well, not really under him, but around him, for 4 years, and then you could go take your boards. Nuclear medicine took me into a different kind of place where I could get contaminated, because radiation is colorless. So if you were in the lab and you got radioactive isotopes on any of the equipment, we would never know, but we were carrying it around on our clothes. But taking a shower wasn't going to get that stuff off of me. So at some point, my last patient that I took care of in nuclear medicine was a 15-year-old guy, and he had a terrible kind of cancer. It's called Ewing's sarcoma. And he was telling me how his parents were going to take him to Aspen skiing the next season. And I'm from Colorado, and Aspen was like my go-to my whole life. And I would have loved for him to go to Aspen. But when you're in nursing, you see bodies from the outside. When you're doing tests like nuclear medicine, you see them from the inside. And it doesn't take long. You're not reading them as well as the doctors are, but you know when you see on your little scope here who's going to live and who's going to die. So I decided at that point I didn't want to work in a hospital anymore. And I went out to lunch and never went back. So I went back and got a business degree. And business for me is shades above working in a hospital. And now I'm back to what's 1 shower a day.